Like a lot of people, this past Mosei Shabbat, after Shabbos ended, I was looking at the news to see who were the hostages that were freed. Were they really freed? What do they look like? How are they doing? I looked at their faces. You know, during this whole entire war, I've been looking at faces, because when you look at a face, you look at a human being, you look at a soul. When you just see a name, a number, it's meaningless. But when you see these faces, why, it's so real, it's so painful. It's so dark, and yet in the face there's so much light. Because the face is really a reflection of the inside, which the inside is the soul, and the face comes out reflecting the soul. So I see faces of children who I'm so relieved and so grateful that they have been released, and I see the hostages going back to what is left of their families and their homes. Yes, I feel a glimmer of hope. And I for sure feel gratitude. But I also have been feeling so much pain and darkness these past days, more than even before. Because I know that these poor children are not going back to the life they had before. I know these people are not going back to the life they had before. There's no returning back. They are now going back as orphans. They are going back with family members who have been murdered, homes destroyed, torn apart, savaged, burned. No one's life will ever be as it was before. And I think that as I am sitting in my darkness and I'm thinking about this, I remember teaching that I read and I learned from the Esha Kodesh. The teaching was given over in the Holocaust in a very dark moment where there was so much pain, a moment of heartbreak, of sadness, of death, of murder, of destruction. And the Esha Kodesh asked the question from this week's Parsha, where Yaakov, Jacob, our forefather, was wrestling with his arch enemy, the angel of Esav. And they're wrestling. And the angel of Esav hits Yaakov in the thigh. He hurts him. He wounds him. And in fact, when they finished fighting, when they parted, Yaakov did not go back walking off into the sunrise as he was before. He went off limping. Yaakov was limping. And there's this scene where they're wrestling, and Yaakov is, even though he's been hurt and he's been in pain and he's suffering, he's still persevering. He will not fall. He will not be destroyed. He will not be dragged down by his enemy. And he says to the enemy, I will not let you go until you bless me. So the question the Esha Kodesh asks is, why does Yaakov need this blessing? He has a blessing from God. Why does he need his blessing? And the reason why, he explains, is because whatever happens to our forefathers and our foremothers will happen to ourselves, to their descendants, their children. Therefore, at any time in history where we are going through so much pain, so much suffering, where we're struggling with evil, we will not be dragged down. And in fact, we will be hurt though, and we will be in pain. We will never be as we were before. However, we must know that we cannot let go of this until we see the blessing. And this is the message. Yaakov is teaching us, do not let go until you see the blessing. And what is the blessing? The angel blesses him and he says to him, you are no longer called Yaakov, you are Yisrael. What is the word Yisrael? Yeshar Kel. Upright, straight, and God. Meaning we must know that with all this darkness, we have a mission here. And even, we will go off and we will be hurt. And yes, we are limping. Because you can never take away the pain that was brought upon us, the suffering. You can't bring back the people who were murdered. However, we are Yisrael, we are upright nation who will go off walking, even if we're limping, we will still keep going forward and walking off into the sunrise. And we will have blessing. And we will see the blessing. And therefore, each person who goes through something, and every one of us has some kind of suffering, some kind of trauma, some kind of difficulty, you cannot say it to yourself, I went through this so that I'll be the same as I was before. No. You must tell yourself that I went through this so that I am a different person, so that I am a bigger, better, stronger person. It's not that I can erase what happened to me, but I can use it. I can take the darkness, I can breathe in the darkness, and exhale out the light, and push out the light. And with that, I would love for us to close our eyes and do our Parsha meditation. Imagine yourself opposite this force that wants to hurt you, that has hurt you. And I want you to take the pain and the darkness that you've experienced And as you inhale light, I want you to exhale that pain and that darkness. I want you to tell yourself, I will not let this go until I see the blessing in it. And I want you to search and seek and find the blessing that there is within this pain. Inhaling light, which pushes out the darkness. Inhaling goodness and pushes out the evil. To inhale a mission, a purpose, and to know that everything in this world has a master planner. There is a wisdom, and there is a chesed, there is a plan, and there is a kindness. And I'm inhaling strength, and I'm exhaling out any fear, anxiety, or worries. I'm inhaling knowing that I will keep walking and keep going, putting one foot in front of the other, and I'm exhaling anything that's trying to stop me in my way. With that, we're taking deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, relaxing your whole entire body, seeing yourself going forward as in a wave, rising, and yes, falling, but rising again. Taking inhalations and exhalations, being left with the sun rising, filling your whole entire body with the light, with hope, with goodness, and bringing that forward.